It's Shadowverse's 6th anniversary, and there's a lot to be excited about in the next few weeks. The past 6 years have gone by so fast. Speaking of going fast, I've got a new card reveal for Roar of the Godwyrm, and I had a matter of hours to finalize this script. Introducing a familiar face with twice the value, Swiftspeed Quickblader. He's a 2-play.21 with Storm, and on evolve he doesn't gain stats, but he can attack twice per turn. This is by far the simplest card I've ever revealed, but Swiftspeed Quickblader is pretty darn good for a card with not even 2 lines of text. That's because he has the magic word for making a card immediately relevant, or at least potentially relevant, Storm. I believe this is the first time we've ever had 2 versions of the same card in rotation at the same time, since the original Quickblader is a basic card, so that's a bit interesting. Obviously, the original was known as an aggro card, and Swiftspeed Quickblader looks to be the same way. From its base stat line, he's basically Blood Wolf, but without a downside. For a significant portion of Shadowverse history, 3 play points was the standard cost for a 2-attack Storm, with many of the old Blood followers having better stats but some sort of trade-off. But now in 2022, we can get a 2 play point 2-attack Storm with no strings attached and a highly exploitable evolved form. To begin with, Swiftspeed Quickblader is still dealing an extra 2 face damage if you evolve him, which is in line with the typical Storm follower. His value immediately skyrockets as soon as you can buff him, so the question is, how effectively can an aggro deck, or perhaps a combo deck that would run Swiftspeed Quickblader, manage to buff him? Well, wouldn't you know it, there's already an off-malign sword legend that provides permanent buffs. Is Mars actually viable? I remain skeptical about that one, but there is plenty of synergy for Swiftspeed Quickblader in rotation. Regarding buffs and swordcraft, let me get the obvious out of the way. Forge Weaponry is a basic card. Many old school players were taken by surprise when Forge Weaponry was buffed 2 years ago seemingly out of nowhere and given Rally 10 give +4/+4 instead. Now with Swiftspeed Quickblader, we can finally see they were in for the long con. This basic spell has seen some niche use in rally decks from time to time, but giving a double attacking Storm follower +4/+4 all for 5 play points is absurd. With no other buffs, this is 12 face damage for 5 play points and an evolution point as a 2-card combo. To pull this off on curve on turn 5, you would need 9 rally going into the turn. Unfortunately, Cat Admiral is walking the plank to unlimited as we speak, so that's a significant blow to Rally Sword going second, and it means this Forge Weaponry combo most likely won't be online until turn 6. There's nothing wrong with that though, because slotting into turn 6 right after Musketeer's Vow is quite good. If you evolve Face with D'Artagnan for 5 damage and have Swiftspeed Quickblader plus Forge Weaponry on turn 6, that's almost enough to kill the opponent already. Combine that with an early aggro curve, Leod, or even the basic Quickblader, and you're looking at some exceptionally early lethals for aggro Rally Sword. Of course, the main issue with using Swiftspeed Quickblader in a rally deck is that he is merely one man, that is, 1 rally count. Losing out on Cat Admiral's incredible rally synergy definitely hurts the deck as a whole, but since all the other cards in Rally Sword will remain in rotation, 1 or 2 new rally cards could fill that gap. Swiftspeed Quickblader is a bit of a greedy card from a deck building perspective, since he not only demands space for himself without contributing to rally count, but also needs Forge Weaponry to be as strong as possible. It's hard to understate how much work Cat Admiral does for Rally Sword. Losing a huge rally count card in exchange for a relatively weak rally card is a massive change that you will feel immediately. Forge Weaponry is inherently a brick, and if you throw that in on top, the deck could really nosedive in consistency. Being reliable is a mainstay of Rally Sword, and it's no exaggeration to say the deck is not strong if it's not consistent. Although Sword's rally stacking will take a hit, the reward for hitting that common 10 rally breakpoint could potentially be greater than it's ever been. Royal Summons won't be rotating for a long time, so instead of searching Cat Admiral, you get Swiftspeed Quickblader instead, and at 1 play point. Between Royal Summons and Forge Weaponry, the rotation card pool already has a lot of potential to make Swiftspeed Quickblader absolutely busted, and we haven't even seen the rest of the expansion yet. Another high cost follower with a cheap accelerate for accumulating rally would make it very easy to cut down on Sword 2 drops and make summons a guaranteed search. To put it simply, I can't imagine a world where Swiftspeed Quickblader is never good. A 2 play.21 Storm with no downside is still pretty reasonable for an aggro deck, especially with Royal Summons in rotation. Add the ability to attack twice per turn, and now it's only a matter of time before this card wreaks absolute havoc on the meta. It might not happen right away in Roar of the Godwyrm, although it's very close with just the cards in rotation. However, given 2 more card packs, or maybe just the next mini expansion, you can virtually guarantee that Swiftspeed Quickblader will become broken at some point.